Hey guys, my name is Matimio, and today I have another episode of Field Test. This is a video series where you, the viewer, choose a weapon setup that you would like me to try in a future episode, so what weapon and attachments, and then I pick from the top 3 most thumbs up loadout selections, and then I'll put one of them through its paces. Today I'm going to be trying out the PP-19 with the Cobra laser sight and flash suppressor attachments, and to be honest, I was a little hesitant to try out this loadout, but I figured I would give it a whirl, and the main reason why I was so reluctant to try it was because a couple of months ago when I first got this weapon and tried it out, I remember I hated it. It was very difficult to take people out. I just could not get kills, and overall it was just a terrible experience. And probably the main reason why I didn't like it so much was because of its damage model. It only does 16.7 damage up close or 12.5 damage at long range. So 16.7 damage is its max damage. It's going to take you 6 shots up close to take someone out. But the good thing about it is that it does have a high RPM of 900 rounds per minute, and it also has 55 bullets in its magazine, which is a good thing. But it's still, that damage is just so pitiful. It's very difficult to take someone out at medium to long range, or even up close. It does take quite a while to kill someone, and so I just found a couple months ago that this was, in my opinion, the worst weapon in the game. It was just so difficult to take someone out. But I think the reason why I thought it was so terrible was because I was playing on larger maps, like Caspian Border, Operation Firestorm, where, I would come across enemies who were at a medium to long range engagement, and they would just win the gunfights because I just didn't have the RPM to take them out. Like 900 is nice, but it's not the fastest, and if you're going against like the M16A3, you're gonna die. Like, they're just gonna take you out in 4 to 5 bullets while you're trying to get like 7 to 8 bullets into them, and it's just not gonna happen. But now that the Close Quarter DLC is out, I'm finding that my assumption that this was going to be a very painful experience actually did not happen. I was having a lot of fun on the Close Quarter maps using this weapon, and probably because, like everyone says, the Close Quarter maps are just run and gun, they're very hectic, and it doesn't really require a lot of tactics, and I would say that the PP-19 may be one of the best run and gun weapons in the game. With its high magazine side of, like I said, a 55 and its high RPM, and coupled with the fact that you have the laser sight attachment, this thing becomes a hip-fire machine. And while it does take a while to take people out, even up close, it's going to take you 6 shots, and that 6 shots can become 7 quickly if they're even a little bit like 11 meters out. That's how terrible this gun is. I'm serious. Even 11 or 12 meters out, it's going to require you to take now 7 shots to take them out. But anyways, even if they are at that distance, you have such a large magazine size, and because there are so many flank routes on these close quarter maps, you can just run around and hipfire people all day. And I was getting first place on numerous occasions on these maps, which was just, like I said, very surprising. But getting into your attachment recommendations, I thought that the laser sight was a perfect suggestion because this weapon does have a nice hipfire. It's not as good as the MP7, I think, but it's still fantastic, and just doing what you can to enhance that even more is always a good thing. As for the flash suppressor, I also thought that was a great recommendation, but that's really only because there's really nothing better for that slot. The PP-19 really doesn't have a lot of vertical recoil, so you don't really need to worry about that, and the flash suppressor isn't going to be that much of a help. But there's really no reason not to have it, because the only other option, I think, is having the suppressor. And the suppressor on this weapon, while it's kind of nice on the close quarter maps because it's going to keep you off the minimap, I found that it really wasn't that large of a benefit because it reduced my effective range, and because the minimap on the close quarter maps really just is not as effective. I just didn't see the need for it. So I thought, like I said, the flash suppressor was a solid recommendation. Some things that I found to be very helpful when using this weapon was to always flank my enemy when the option presented itself. And I know it's important to flank with any weapon, but because it's so difficult to kill someone up close or win a gunfight up close, you want to have the advantage. You want to take them by surprise. And if I could get a flank off on someone, I was going to do it. I wasn't going to just be like, hey, let's go man to man, let's see who has the best accuracy. because in most cases they're gonna win, and it's not because of their accuracy, it's because their weapon just does a lot more damage than mine. So whenever I could, I was flanking, and you'll see in the video that I'll take some pot shots, and if I see a couple of targets, I'll know if they turn on me, I'm gonna die. So I'll take out the first target, I'll run away, heal up, and then proceed to try to flank, his friends and take them all out. And I found that to be a very effective tactic. Another helpful tip that I have, and this is probably true for every weapon, but I feel like it's just more so with the PP-19 because of its low damage, you're always going to want to go for headshots. And like I said, this should be apparent, but you're going to want to have every advantage that you can, even if you're hip firing, because if you don't, you're probably going to lose more often than not if you are in a gunfight, and you're just going to want to give yourself every advantage that you can. As for the classes that I would recommend using this weapon with, I was mainly sticking with the Assault class, but that was mainly because I wanted the med pack. A strategy that I was using on larger maps like Caspian Border was to sprint to cover to try to get closer to my targets, because this thing just does not kill anything at long range. I even refused in most cases to go for shots at someone off in the distance. You do have 55 rounds, but I felt like I would go through all of them to take someone out, and it just did not seem like it was worth it. So I would sprint from cover to cover, and because they probably would see me and try to get a couple pot shots into me, I would need the med pack to quickly regenerate my life so that I could, when I did get into an engagement where I felt like I could take them out, I was at full health. So I felt like the Assault class was a very appropriate kit for this weapon. I also recommend using the Recon class because of the tugs and the MAV. You can use the minimap to your advantage. You can get the flank on your enemy, and like I said, you're going to want to flank your enemy a lot with this weapon, and having the tugs or the MAV down on the ground is just going to be a huge help. But overall, I had a lot of fun using this weapon. Once I finally started using it to its strengths and avoiding its weaknesses, it becomes a very effective and powerful weapon. I really wouldn't recommend it on the larger maps. If you do want to use it on Caspian Border, you're going to have to move around the map very methodically, and you're going to have to be patient. But if you're going to use it on the close quarter maps, have fun. It really is a run and gun killing machine, and it's just a blast. But that's it for today's field test, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, or you just want to support my channel, I always appreciate it when you give my videos a rating, and if you haven't already, subscribe for more. But if you'd like to submit your own loadout that you would like me to try in a future episode, you can do so by leaving a comment down below, and also make sure to thumbs up the comment that you would like me to try out next. But until next time, guys, have a good one, and take it easy.